Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is November 4th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage an escalating series of terror events in the United States or around the world on the date of November 4th, 2025, or the morning of November 5th of 2025, specifically to spawn a second global biological pandemic and or trigger World War III. So exactly what is planned is obviously not known, but before I get into the scenarios, I just want to highlight the numerology, which is blinking red. Basically, the number 4 in the date of November 4th equates to a cross, as in the Swiss cross, which is found on the flag of Switzerland, which is home to the CIA. Also, the date of November 4th, if you take the number 11, this is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 4, this is 24, equates to letter X, which is known internationally as the symbol of death. Also, the date of November 4th marks exactly 308 days since the year started, so it's the 38th day or 308th day, which equates to 38, which is CH, which is Confederation Helvetica, which is the official name of Switzerland in Latin. So this particular numerology is blinking red and suggests the CIA is going to stage some sort of mass attack, terror event, most likely a DEFCON level event on this particular numerology, which bears the signature of the CIA in Switzerland. So exactly what is planned is obviously not known, but there are a few locations which are blinking red. Firstly, Paris, France is hosting a game between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. These are two of the biggest football or soccer teams in Europe, and they're playing on the evening of November 4th in Paris. I just identified a plot for the CIA to stage a Russian bombing attack, aerial attack, strategic bombing attack targeting Paris and or Greater France during the live broadcast of this game. You can check out my report. It's called Operation Oscar Wilde. It's on my blog, 911shooter.org. And there was just a plot I covered yesterday for a Russian ICBM strikes targeting The Hague, Brussels, and London. So some sort of Russian offensive is expected in Europe on the night of November 4th. This is likely going to be executed by the Israeli Air Force and then subsequently blamed on Russia to trigger World War III. In the United States, there are elections currently taking place around the United States, including but are not limited to Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, New Jersey, New York City, Tennessee, Texas, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Wisconsin. And if you check out my report on 911truther.org, it's entitled Operation Threat to Democracy. The CIA is planning on staging an escalating wave of political violence in the United States on the date of November 4th. Hours after I published my report, the CIA staged bomb threats to numerous polling stations in New Jersey in order to clear out the area and to remove the bombs from these polling places. So terrorism is blinking red right now. Switzerland is about ready to attack via their Israeli Mossad, and so we have to be on alert. We also have in New York City, we have the election of Zohran Mamdani. This guy is a CIA asset from India, and he's posing as a Muslim-friendly mayor, communist mayor of New York City, and this is because it's designed to foreshadow these impending attacks that are going to happen in and around New York City on the evening of November 4th. If Mamdani loses, the CIA has a multifaceted plan going on. Basically, if Mamdani loses, then they're going to stage riot attacks. They're going to be blamed on Gen Z rioters. The CIA staged a number of Gen Z so-called riot attacks around the world. I believe it was in Nepal and Singapore and Tanzania. There's been a bunch of them. You can read my report later. I'm going to publish about it. And then if Mamdani wins, the CIA is going to stage an escalating wave of right-wing political violence, likely featuring the secession of multiple states, starting with the state of Texas. Because if a communist becomes mayor of New York City, then a bunch of states, Arizona, Florida, Texas, are going to secede from the Union. I'm going to publish a report about that later. And then if all else fails, they're going to have a neck-and-neck race between Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, into the late hours of the night. And then the CIA is likely going to stage Russian ICBM strikes targeting multiple locations across the United States. As I stated in a video yesterday, what type of attacks are planned, obviously not known, but considering that it is November 4th, considering the numerology of Switzerland on this particular date, it's also imperative to know also that the morning of November 5th is basically an anonymous day. Remember the 5th of November, and they are notorious for cyber attacks, so some sort of massive cyber attack is expected on the evening of the 4th or the morning of the 5th. Possibly targeting stock markets, banks, nuclear reactors, the Internet of Things, and so on and so forth. But if the CIA does in fact stage an attack on this numerology, in this particular 48-hour window of November 4th, November 5th, they will predictably be biological, chemical, radiological, or nuclear in nature. There's also the real possibility that the CIA is going to seize upon this impending political violence in the United States and stage some sort of an offensive by China, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and or Russia, possibly featuring one or more of the 6 super weapons that Russia disclosed back on March 1st of 2018. So some sort of act of war, bombing, full-scale invasion, bombardment, or ICBM missile strike is expected. In the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Venezuela, we have, I believe we have 9 ships, U.S. Navy ships, an aircraft carrier, and a bunch of destroyers and guided missile cruisers, as well as a submarine. And these are basically sitting ducks in the Caribbean. I just published a report yesterday for an Iranian attack targeting these ships, but the CIA may reload and go with a Russian attack or a Chinese attack. So some sort of event in Venezuela is expected. The CIA may also resort to their bread and butter, which is Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi militia, ISIS, Muslim Brotherhood, Taliban related attacks, possibly featuring CBRN related 9/11 style attacks, bombing, hostage crisis, massacres, sieges, stormings, or suicide bombings. And of course, given the numerology of Switzerland, it's highly likely that they would stage some sort of an assassination event targeting U.S. President Donald J. Trump. Yesterday, I published reports for the date of November 4th, including a North Korean nuclear warhead-laden drone attack targeting South Korea, a Russian attack on London. Just so you know, in the last 48 hours, the United Kingdom has gifted Ukraine an unlimited amount, or an unknown amount, I should say, of Storm Shadow missiles. Basically, these are state-of-the-art cruise missiles, which the CIA plans on having Ukraine use against Russia. Yesterday, I published a report for an attack on the Kremlin Palace in Moscow, as well as an attack on the Black Sea Fleet headquarters in Sevastopol, Crimea, Ukraine. And in the aftermath of this report, it's highly likely that they will target Russian oil and gas-related infrastructure, because Russia is currently under sanctions for oil, and European nations have just decided not to purchase oil from Russia. And so if Ukraine targets Russian oil-related infrastructure, it could choke out the Russian economy. And so the response from Putin would be likely nuclear in nature. Also, in the last 24 hours, I've published a report for a 9/11 style nuclear terror attack by China targeting a dozen or more cities in the United States. So we are in a particular window right now where the CIA is absolutely desperate to trigger World War III, and I believe that they're going to use the live broadcast of the aforementioned Paris Saint-Germain Bayern Munich game in Europe to stage something in Europe, and then in the United States with the election of the first communist in America, all eyes will be on New York City, likely featuring some sort of neck-and-neck race going into the late evening hours. So everybody will be watching to see if this guy wins, because obviously this would be a historic moment for the United States if New York City, which is kind of a bellwether for, along with California, for how things go in the United States. And so if Mamdani wins in New York City, this would obviously be a referendum on the Trump administration as well as for Gen Z. And so the CIA is going to, I believe, use this election on the evening of November 4th to stage horrific attacks across the United States. They may also stage domestic attacks, such as detailed in my report entitled Operation Threat to Democracy, mass shootings, kidnapping, hostage crisis, bombings, etc. But this is going to be a very, very interesting evening because the CIA is absolutely desperate to stage terror events in the United States and around the world. And the end goal is to stage a second global biological pandemic and or trigger World War III. So this is going to be very interesting this evening, how these elections play out. So obviously, if any of the aforementioned events come to fruition in reality, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets.